other people, so Gail gets that. I'd like approval of the agenda as amended to include our draft 2024 consolidated financial statements ending December 31st, 2024. Moved by Councilor Tidbury, seconded by Councilor Dugas. All in favor? Carried. We have our minutes of the regular council meeting held April 22nd for adoption. Moved by Councilor Tidbury, seconded by Councilor Dugas. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. We have no delegations. We have the business arising. Our council action item report for information. Any comments? We have our district connection second edition, March, April for information. It's excellent.
Another sleep show.
Exactly. Very nice. Councilor Dugas?
Just to ask the staff, are we gonna change the picture in the front of us?
That would be nice.
You know, I was gonna say, I like that picture because never in my life have I ever been able to be at one of the ends and be one of the tall guys. Never happened.
Too.
What's wrong with the picture?
You just switch it up. You know, you'll switch it up, see?
Make some funny faces?
I like it. It's a great picture, but
Very formal.
it's very, very.
Would you like something a little less formal? Maybe if it's a nice day on the next council meeting, we could take a picture of it at the municipal hall time.
That would be nice.
And have a summer picture and a winter picture.
Can I still be a tall guy?
You have the upward slope.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Jason, you stand on the other end.
Oh. But then again, yeah, all kidding aside, though, really very nicely done. That's great. Hopefully, that everybody that we send this out to, our communication is getting better, so I'm sure everybody's start reading it now. Hopefully,
I hope so.
we're giving them an opportunity.
Maybe we should include a test at the end.
Yeah, yeah. What did you? It's very good.
I can track like how many times it's looked at, but the website isn't working to be able to tell you. Right now it says there's been 0 visitors. But I'm sure there's been more because I haven't had the people make comments.
Yeah. I can't say that we didn't give them updates. So that's awesome.
I've got news for you. Somebody hasn't read it.
Mhm.
We have, under new business, we have resolutions to the Union of BC Municipalities, our resolution process. And we will be talking about the resolutions going forward. If we want to bring anything forward from here.
We'll also be talking about, oh, sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
we'll also be talking about how many, hopefully, the ministers or whatever are gonna be able to talk to at UBCM, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is usually big on our list. What did we have, 14 last year? I think we
Or 16.
Was it 16? I can't remember.
16.
We met with a lot of ministries, and we got a lot of responses back from them, so that was great too.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, a lot of them will be new, so I think even ones that we've been in front of for the last couple of years, maybe we should put ourselves in front of them again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
New group.
Yeah.
Right.
I know our deputy corporate officer is working and getting us together to talk about UBCM. So
We've issued a survey,
Survey, yeah.
which now you have the link.
oh, okay. I didn't have the link earlier, so
Apparently I don't know how to do that. So the link is out. So for you to be able to look, you'll be able to, Louisa's very graciously put together the mandate letters as well as the ministry, what they specialize in, and also included what we talked to the ministers about last year in order to help kind of guide and inform the discussion. With regards to the UBCM resolution deadline, it is June the 15th, and I know that there had been a request at the last meeting to maybe possibly explore putting forward a resolution regarding permitting processes in the archaeological branch.
Mhm.
and I know I put that forward and mentioned that And I'm just not sure. It's, when you look at the link and they're they're trying to be really strict about going through our local area association. So whether it would even get looked at if we put it,
If it's emergent. As they say, go through the next.
yeah.
In the trend now to cut back, isn't that the discussion around the tables now?
That's what they're saying, yeah. But I think that's an important, we just go for it anyways. But they accept it.
Yeah, can't get it unless you try.
Every area, I mean, just figure everybody in the province dealing with the same issue. So this is not something that just particularly talks about us, it's about everybody. So I think it's important that we bring it up.
And I think we definitely want to meet with the minister responsible for
totally.
that, because
Absolutely.
I think we get much more action getting in front of them ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
At least for our community, although we want it for the whole province, but.
We're working along with our coagulas too, is important. They can really help out with that one, I think.
Okay, so we still want to go forward with it.
We'll bring it forward to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have under scenarios for discussion of the management approach to Fraser Summer 5-2 Chinook 2025-2026 for information, Counselor Robertson.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that designation 5 power 2, whatever it is, means.
Means us.
But I did go through, and I'm not sure whether they're sending it out because they want comments, because there's gonna be a meeting about it. And they were trying to qualify all of their scenarios, the 5
Mhm.
scenarios that they put there. I do have an opinion about some of them. And if I was to be asked, I would be in favor of scenario 1. But I don't really understand the format and what they're asking us to do.
So when I we had the sports fisher people group come to the RD, and I looked, the consultation process had already closed. However, sources say that there's been much controversy about the consultation process. And my sources suggest that we should write a letter, which I would like someone to recommend writing a letter to the new Minister of Fisheries, saying how detrimental it would be with any of the other scenarios to go forward, because it would basically shut down all sports fishing on the coast.
Not all of the scenarios, but some of these.
Oh, some of the scenarios would
Would
shut.
absolutely shut down.
I'll make that motion to write a letter to the new minister.
Mhm.
Because what my source was saying is that they don't think they really realize in Ottawa how important sports fishing is to the economic growth of our community
Mhm.
and onto the whole,
Yeah.
whole coastline.
I mean, if I may.
Yeah.
There's the nature of some of the scenarios is a concern. But the fact that, I mean, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but this is the first I've seen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
First
So
anyone's seen
the
it.
consultation process is a concern. And possibly the failure to understand coastal communities is the
Yeah.
third concern.
Mhm.
And we have a mover, seconded by Councillor Robertson. Any other comments? And just want, before we go to voting, so I listened this morning about listened and watched the swearing in of different ministers. I didn't get to see all of them, but I did see the swearing in of the fisheries minister. And I don't know how many of you were watching it and listening to the comments from the broadcasters. And they were saying they were surprised that there was a fisheries minister, because fishing's not a big deal on BC coast, and it's only a big deal in, oh yeah, this is just more. I was on Global, and there was more concern for Eastern Canada, not for BC, and I just, are you kidding me? So I think we need to be very proactive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we should be asking for a meeting.
Yeah, and maybe we should be asking for a meeting too.
Yeah, and if we're going to write to the fisheries minister about sports fishing, I'd like to add in aquaculture
Of course,
and
yes.
fish habitat. I mean, don't want to make it too broad, but
Well,
So
all
we
those
could
things
do
are
with-
The farm fishing on the East Coast is everywhere,
It is
everywhere.
and she's from the East Coast.
Yeah, same, yeah.
St. John's
It's Joe, it's,
And she's from the St. John.
Yeah,
tourism.
but
So,
could we add in
that could help.
aquaculture at least to that letter? If we're gonna write about
Joanne,
sports
Tom.
fishing?
I agree.
Should we keep it narrow and focused?
mhm,
Well, we could do fisheries on the west coast,
it's
a
inclusive.
freshwater or sports fishing and aquaculture.
Mhm.
And I think this, and please, come visit us.
Come and
Come
visit us.
visit us and congratulations on your new portfolio.
Yeah,
And I don't want to leave out the other sectors because I know that they are probably struggling too, but
Of course.
we haven't heard from them.
yeah.
No,
Nobody's told us directly they are, but anyway, let's leave it at the two that are in.
They're both important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All in favor? Carry. Moving on, we have the BC Achievement Foundation, the 22nd Annual Community Award recipient named by BC Achievement Foundation. So big shout out to everybody, but an amazing shout out to Gwen Hansen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so many of us know her or met her and from Quatsino, and she's a great advocate for the Quatsino, and so hopefully she hears our shout out and how proud that we are. And I know that there was someone from Zabellas as well that was given the award too, and I think it's just amazing, small communities on Vancouver Island that
Yeah.
individuals have been recognized.
Could we write her a little letter congratulating her?
Mhm.
And I had maybe suggested that maybe she could come and we could either virtually or
It'd be nice if she could come to a council meeting.
come to a
It's a
council
bit of
meeting.
a effort commute for her.
Yeah, but she could come in virtually and we
Yeah.
could congratulate her. I'm gonna maybe see if the regional district has been able to because she is in the regional district,
Yeah,
in the Andrews area, so maybe see if they're doing anything, and if they're not, then we could do something. But wait till after the regional district meeting.
Mhm.
So, is that with you to check on?
I think the nice thing is you could write a letter to her without any actual address to, it's probably right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Someone-
exactly.
Suspicious if it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to Andrew. about
But
that.
yes, a letter of congratulations would be nice.
RD should be writing the letter. I'll get on.
Yeah,
it.
I guess, yeah, that's probably most appropriate.
Next one was the Port Hardy Hospital Emergency Department hours of operation request for expansion. So I sent this letter last week and 2 weeks ago, I guess. Anyways. So I haven't had formal feedback, but what I have heard is that they are in much discussion behind the scenes to try and move the hours forward. Or increase the hours, so which is good. Hopefully it'll happen sooner than later.
Mhm.
And the last thing under new business is our draft 2024 consolidated financial statement ending December 31st. So luckily, we have relatively clean bill of health from our audited auditors, and so thank you very much to our CAO and our Director of Finance for all your hard work, and I hope anyone wants to have a look at it here. So we need a resolution to bring in. Moved by Councilor Dorwood, seconded by Councilor Dugas. Any comments?
Great work. staff.
Yeah. It's nice when we have an auditor come in and say,
They did, yeah. they done a
pretty
great
easy.
job. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. All right, all in favor? Carried. We have from the Honorable Josie Osborne, Minister of Health, a response to the helicopter ambulance service and pending expiration. For information.
And there- I know that it, you keep extending it, but I know it's only going to supposedly at this point to September the 30th, 2025. So I guess, when we get our chance to go to UBCM, we talk to the health, we'll be talking to her, hopefully. We'll be putting the pressure on, hey, we don't want this closed. Hopefully we'll hear before that they're gonna extend it, but
Yeah,
time will tell, I guess. Do we follow up with a letter now again?
well, I'm thinking, because she also mentioned, someone else in that letter that we could follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit in July. And just follow up with the letter saying, no, the contract's coming up the end of September,
Mm-hmm.
even though this is expensive, we realize it's expensive, but it's a win for our community when, we don't have to lose our paramedics and ambulances going down Island.
Yeah.
And how nice it is for the patients and their travel and their comfort too.
Yeah, and again, this will be brought up at the end of the RD. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
They need to rewrite the letter too.
Yeah,
Gives it copy to the urgent.
maybe a copy to the RD.
Yeah. You got CC'd on it. so-
Yeah, he got on.
I told him I was very gonna.
Good.
From Christine, or Kristen. Kristen, Gomer, teacher from Ikimiki Learning Center, requested counsel. So two of her students are going to Winnipeg, and they entered a contest and won, which is just amazing.
It is amazing.
And so her request is for, some branded material where they can bring it along and any other support that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's gonna be fairly expensive too, and I'm not sure if there's any money in the grant and aid or what the policy is for two from a school too, but I know that we do have some swag that we can send along with them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the request was just for swag.
Yeah.
You know, there.
There's,
Financial answer.
you know, the swag for sure,
Mhm.
but they were saying if there's any financial, incentives.
Well, representing our region, right?
Yeah.
In our area, in our community, really.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So what did we do before when we had, students that came to us, that were representing us, like in dancing, and they were going to these,
We give him swag.
yeah, that's all we gave them? I can't
Yeah.
remember now.
You know, when they've gone with sports, representing at sports events,
Yeah.
we've given them, financial
Aid,
but
yeah.
I don't know if they're just representing at something like this.
And you giving money to science fair people going to mention.
I don't think so.
Mm.
I'd be in favor of some swag.
Yeah, swag.
So for sure we can give pins.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how much swag they're looking for too.
We can confirm.
Find that out.
So if I could, we have a, policy for providing support to sport competitors. And this isn't sports, is it?
No.
And then we have the grant and aid policy, but then it's an organization that applies,
Right,
a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
okay, so
So we
swag,
can definitely do swag. We've got, quite a few things, especially for trying to boost tourism. We have brochures as well that we can send, some
Mhm.
bags, and whistles to drive everybody.
Beer cozy.
We don't have any beer buddies, but we have wonderful little frog eyes.
Yeah, frog eyes.
Yes, I'm familiar with.
Mhm.
Okay, so we could do some swag and you'll get a hold of them to find out how much they would like and, because I think they're leaving fairly soon.
Yes, this month, yeah. Where did it say? It said somewhere for the date. But May something, I think, but maybe I have something else.
I think it's May, I think it's next week sometime.
Mhm. Yeah, May 21 to the 25th.
Get it to them.
Okay, thank you. We have from Andrea Waterhouse, CMP, Vice President of Housing Technology and Implementation from Connective regarding a request for a letter of support for the BCNPHA Housing Provider of the Year Award.
Mayor, what did you think?
So I think this would be great. They've bought the three or running the three apartment buildings. They have people in the community. They make regular contact with us. Everything I've heard, I haven't heard anything negative.
And it makes a difference in that community.
It does make a big difference in our community.
They've been pretty active with their North Island Seniors Housing Foundation too, with proposals too, so they've been really supportive. So that's awesome.
Moved by Council Robertson, second by Council Burgess. Any other comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We have our excuse me, draft minutes of the committee, of the whole meeting held April 22nd for information. We have our draft minutes of the Policy and Governance Committee held April 22nd for information. We have our Finance Department, April 2025, check and EFT listing report for information. I just have to say, with the new system and the way it's coming out, because I had the pleasure of signing a bunch of checks and different things, well,
The
the deputy
pleasure?
mayor was on a little bit of a walkabout.
Drive about.
How interesting they are, because now there's the check,
Yeah.
there's the automatic deposits, and there are the EFTs, and soon there will be another one. Checks, automatic deposits, maybe it's automatic deposits that are coming through sooner.
Yeah.
But how clean it is, how easy it is.
Yeah.
And to be able to see the difference between them too, but just to make sure like for the automatic deposits and the EFTs, to make sure it's still, everything has two signatures on it and,
Yeah.
the controls are still there.
Yeah.
And so it's really good.
Less checks to sign.
Less checks to sign. No, well,
No.
amount, because you're still
Instead of
signing.
signing the other pages, yeah, right.
Yeah, you're still signing like there's something on the front, a stamp or a sticker or something that you have to still sign on
It
the
hasn't
EFT
changed.
or the automatic
I guess
deposit.
I meant just less mailing.
Less mailing, saving on the mailing,
Yeah.
significant.
Pretty cool. So, well,
Yeah,
Mayor,
fine.
just to ask staff, I mean, well, Director of Finance, how's the system now that you got the kinks up? You happy?
Yeah, some people are just rolling with it really fast and, I love it. And there is a lot of, easier to get through stuff and this certainly the accounts payable, like you say, being able to do the EFTs in big batches, and we couldn't do that before, right? So it had to be like a single one all the time. And the pennies per batch compared to, of course, the checks
Yeah.
printed on paper with two signature lines still, and then like the
Mhm.
automatic withdrawals. You have, there's some of those in here because we were catching up and learning how to do them, so they weren't on the last list, but like, so MPP, Blue Cross, Receiver General, there's a lot of them that come out of the bank automatically
Mhm.
once you've submitted your report to them. I think it's working excellent, and I like how clean all the reports are.
Mhm.
It's easy to like I've been doing it this, since we've had it, and I like it. It's a lot clearer.
And we're getting more and more, every time a check run goes out, a slip goes in there to let people know if they wanna have it.
Yeah,
When electronic funds transfer into their accounts, and they're just, it's growing like crazy, so it's not gonna be long where we'll have very few checks being poured out.
Especially with the upcoming potential
Mhm.
Yeah,
postal strike.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Just through the mayor, again, with regards to the audit process, then will be a lot of help, more helpful too.
Yeah, it is, because it does break it down for them as well, where they can say, you know, I wanna see these EFTs, and then they'll be checking our internal controls. We give a big list of how we do it, and so that's where I checked with them before we even got started on, you know, our process of having the dual signatures on, the EFTs look like a draft check, and it still has the two signatures, so it actually looks like a check, and then the ones that are automatic withdrawals, we've got the stickers on like we used to have, and they're totally happy with it. It'll make it much easier for them to pull files from us and staff as well. The other nice part of it, and you would notice if you're signing some of the checks, Pat's noticed this for sure, is on the check stub has the GL account that the expense has gone to, and so it's,
Oh,
then for an auditor, they can pick that and go, oh, okay, and they can look up in the, you know, the
Instantly.
matching to what kind of, you're expensing it to the proper
it's clear.
GL account.
It's way clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy for us to find stuff too, that way, when I'm checking them, I can look and go, yeah, maybe that's not supposed to go there, I'll have to do it here. But I haven't run into any of those, but it makes it much, much easier.
awesome.
That's not to say there hasn't been some growing pains.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
definitely.
think
it's new.
it's new and learning and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if I may, you know, I know there was a bit of confusion when we sent out the utility bills, because of course, before we used to not send out credit balance utility bill notices.
Mhm.
And of course, we sent out the notices and everybody's bills came in with red parentheses around them. So we probably should have done them in black and white, so it wasn't so obvious. Because it did spark a lot of, well, what? Why am I in the red? So we did kind of have to put up some messaging on that and some notices so that people understood, but it's also a good way of, because the old system didn't allow us to print non-debit balances or credit
Mhm.
balances. So non-debit balances. And so now we can actually keep people more informed rather than them having to call us and say, okay, so how much money do I have left? And then once we switch to the eGov, like I mentioned before, then they'll be able to just go online and find out exactly where they're sitting, so.
Yeah.
And then not get a paper bill.
And I paid it for a year.
Yeah,
Made it easy,
Mhm.
which we couldn't do before.
that's right.
Oh, we could pay for the year now?
Remember we passed that in our,
Yeah, I know we did that, but I didn't realize that was a go-go.
Yeah,
So everybody,
You guys are quick.
everybody can pay by the year. We've always allowed that.
Allow that
We just
in?
do a Yeah, we just do a calculation and we
Oh.
just prepay. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, boy, I gotta get with the times here. Save me a lot of headaches.
it's done.
Yeah.
all
Okay.
right, so moving on, we have under, current bylaws, we have bylaw number 1180-2025. Annual tax rate bylaw for 2025 for adoption. Moved by Council Tidbury, second by Council Dugas. We've talked about this many times. All in favor? Any opposed? We have our pending bylaw, 764-2023, amendment to zoning bylaw number 1010-2015. Verbal reports. Council Tidbury.
I haven't got very much because, basically I was on holiday. And I had a fantastic holiday, just to let you know. And I've expressed that to a number of you, how enjoyable I had. But the only thing, that I've done basically is the North Island Cultural Society. I went to the general meeting and, even though they had a tough time, but the last show helped pay for the year. They're gonna do it another year,
Well, right on.
so that's fantastic. So get your season tickets at the Fall Fair. And we know, and we talked about it a bit earlier on about communication and things like that. And we realized that there's areas that we're lacking in that. And we're hoping to correct some of those problems.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Fall Fair is in Port Hardy this year?
No, Port McNeil,
Oh, Port McNeil?
Port McNeil this year.
Big few conference started.
I'll just have to get I guess a big loader to get him down there.
Oh, I'm sure you
Oh, well, gotta do what you do.
That's a big.
Okay, yeah, okay, well, April 28th, some of it, mayor and some of our council here had an opportunity to meet with our MLA, Anna Kendi, to talk about some of our health issues here, and I'm sure that our mayor will talk a little bit about that when she gives her talk. Obviously, 24/7 at the emergency is what we want, but as we've already sent a letter that we've got here to them, asking them to at least extend it up to 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock, or was it 5 to 7? Yeah, 4 to 7 or whatever. Yeah, that would be awesome. May 1st, John unfortunately was away. He's the chair of the FinTech committee. We had AGM at Seven Hills. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there, but I went online. And I was able to be a part of the AGM, and they had a kickoff there with all of for the tourism season. Everybody's excited about this year coming up, so that sounds great. Public safety solicitor, we had a meeting with them here. Talking to them, there was a whole, man, how many, we had 4 or 5 of them that joined us on that meeting. It was pretty awesome. To talk about some of the ways that hopefully they could help us, and there was quite a list of items that our CAO put together for us to address with them, and I'm sure our mayor will talk about that a little bit. We're still waiting for the North Island Seniors Housing Foundation is still waiting to see if BC Housing is gonna actually put out for our community housing funding submission. They keep telling me it's happening, and they've been talking about that since January. We haven't had anything yet, but I'm pretty sure that they were waiting for the federal government select after the election to get that all in place, because they made promises to all the provinces that they were gonna be helping to support housing across Canada. And I think the province was waiting to see how much money they were gonna get so they could put their money in the kitty and pass it along. Yeah, and as we already mentioned, the new fisheries minister and for fisheries and for Coast Guard is Joanne Thompson. And I was talking to BC Salmon Farming Association through an email today, and they put some notification out about that they're very happy that she actually had taken that position on just earlier. But now she's obviously the full-time fisheries honorable minister for that department, and everybody seemed to be pretty happy about that, other than the fact that she's on the East Coast, she needs to go to the West Coast to check us out. So that's all good. Thank you, Mayor.
She does no fishing.
He knows fishing.
There you go. Yeah, just briefly, I was, with, Councillor Dugas at a Ventus meeting, and we're going to another one tomorrow. And we're looking at, a potential vital signs document in the North Island, and we had a presentation of the vital signs. So anyway, that's gonna be up for discussion. I was at a Foundry meeting, and Foundry is expanding, as we know, and it's working at really, and they have a full complement of people, employees when they've been hiring, and are working at capacity. They're doing well, and they have a lot of clients coming in, which I think is a good thing. And a full range of services for the first time in a while. So yeah, and that's, stay tuned for more news and things like that. I was also at the MLA, meeting with the MLA, so it should, and the public safety and solicitor meeting was, I believe, you know, when you go to meetings and, you know, whether you're heard or not, and I believe we were heard, whether anything comes of it is another thing altogether. And I was at the Indigenous Specific Anti-Racism Training on Thursday with many staff, and it was quite a powerful event, so. And I thought I would point out as well that there was a meeting that I did not go to, I was not able to attend. It was the BC Ferries Engagement Framework meeting. It was held at 6 p.m. on a Friday. And so I wasn't quite able to make that. And so
Who did?
I don't imagine a lot of people did. I just thought I'd point out that I was able to make it. Friday at 6 meeting, 6 p.m.
Wow.
I didn't even get an email about that.
How did you?
I showed up on my calendar.
I also attended the meeting with MLA Anna Kinney about, particularly with the hospital emergency closures and a bunch of other stuff, but, yeah, still struggling there, but we're trying hard. That open 24 hours. The Chamber of Commerce had a member mixer at Hardy Building Supply, Hardy Builders.
Mhm.
They're under new ownership and nice that super local people, Keith and Angela, so that was nice. They're very excited about, their business ownership, so it's good. I attended the Sarah Beckett Memorial Run. Sarah Beckett was the RCMP constable. She was first stationed at Palmerhill. Later in Langford, she was unfortunately killed in the line of duty down there.
Mhm.
And so now they have a 5K Memorial Fun Run to commemorate her. And money that's raised goes to nonprofits in generally basically the Victoria kind of region.
Mhm.
They've raised $100,000 so far. I think it's been held 5 times. So it's pretty good because it's pretty small so far. It also is to show support for law enforcement and all first responders. So good. The Chamber of Commerce actually organized the event, and the Save on Foods donated the food. And I don't know, maybe there was 30 people there. And this might not be significant to anybody else, but it's the first time that I came in first.
Oh.
The key is go in races where there's nobody else. And actually, I tied for first with my buddy Jody, so. Yeah, we were neck and neck at the finish, and there was no actual finish line. So anyways, I was like, wow, so it's possible. Let's keep going, never give a race. Attended the meeting with the Ministry of Public Safety and Solicitor General. Some key things we talked about there were the downtown substance-related incidents, lack of support in substance abuse and mental health care in our community, not necessarily because it's not here, but it's understaffed.
Mhm.
A lot of it. The strain on our RCMP and repeated incidents, repeat offenders. And yeah, I think like Brett said, Councilor Robinson said, I felt like we were listened. Yeah,
Mhm.
well, staff are
I
usually
really
great.
think so. You
Get back to us for sure. So.
seem like
And attended also the Indigenous Specific Anti-Racism Training, and yeah, heavy, powerful. Yeah, I hope the next one's a bit lighter.
that's next Thursday, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this Thursday.
This Thursday. Oh my God.
This Thursday.
That was.
And there's a
You can
preliminary
come.
I can come, thank you. I will be.
meeting is tomorrow night.
So I attended some fun things. I attended the 37th annual 5-pin bowling championship.
I saw the picture of the paper you both. Did you get it right?
Are you kidding me?
Did you keep it out of the gutter?
But kudos for Lance and Sonia. They're the new owners. They totally changed it down there. It's beautiful and, yeah, so it was great and it was fun being down there and the vibes and all the, everything. It was a lot of fun. It was fun. Attended the Sonoma Culturally Supportive Housing Society AGM. Unfortunately, it was on one of the hockey nights, so we didn't have a big turnout, but it was good. It was nice. Got all the work done. So
Would Jets go?
Mhm.
Oh, Toronto, go Maple Leafs.
Both teams.
Um, The Hardy Builders, ribbon cutting, again, that was a lot of fun. Congratulations to Keith and Angela Porter, the new owners,
Mhm.
making big changes there. And that Hardy Builders has been in business for 60 years and, pretty amazing. And the customers they serve up and down the island. Having the meeting with MLA Anna Kendi, again, really advocating for the 24/7 and I don't think she realized how much we are advocating, but we're just not,
Mhm.
in the paper or in the news all the time. And it's kind of hard to be in the news and on the, saying the same thing over and over again. But so we sent that letter, I sent that letter about extending the hours. And, that was pretty interesting because I had a phone call from the news this morning, from CBC News, asking about that letter.
Oh, cool.
And I thought, oh, that's interesting. We haven't even talked about it, the agenda, but, and I've had feedback from a constituent who is normally here saying, thank you very much. So they're seeing it, and I think we are always saying we want it back open 24/7.
Mhm.
But we also realize that healthcare workers are in short supply all over the place.
Yeah.
And, when it's a small hospital in the ER, if there's 3 nurses on and one gets sick,
Guess
the
what?
ER shuts down. So it needs to have more supply of healthcare workers. And I'm really hoping with what's happening in the state, and more healthcare workers are coming north and are being approved, that maybe our 24/7 will, come sooner than more time.
I saw a story, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I saw a story today that said the BC government, anyways, was gonna expedite, nursing,
Oh, yeah,
New program.
particularly from the US.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
having, and
They'll take him at power. So they don't have to do the courses.
Right.
no,
Or
well,
something.
they're evaluating their credentials a lot quicker to make sure.
Yeah.
And then they're guiding them through the immigration period or all the
That's
stuff like that. And I saw another report too, that BC is ahead of the other provinces because we've been in critical shortage a lot longer than the other provinces. So they're a little bit further ahead with the, advertising and promotion to come to BC.
Mhm.
So,
And maybe to be clear, one of the requests of Environment Health is that not just 24/7, but in the interim, because of what the RCMP have
yeah,
presented, that if you can't do 24/7, how about
Just
keeping it open till late at
A
night?
little longer.
yeah, a little bit longer.
That's what
Yeah.
the letters tell.
And that was what the letter was for. So just tying it with everything. We're still promoting it, but if we can have the hospital open a little bit longer,
I think it's gonna make a big difference.
it would make a big difference. Attended the murdered and missing women and girls and Two-Spirited, event out at the big house at Saki's. Fairly well attended.
Yeah.
Always very emotional and very
Yeah.
upsetting with how many people from the North Island have gone missing over the years and how many people it's affected.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I apologize to them. I was down in Canberra one day. Otherwise, I would have been there for
Yeah.
sure. That's a pretty big thing.
It was this year too, I think maybe they've come before and I haven't seen them. There was quite a contingent came from Port McNeill, from the high school from Port McNeill.
wow. Cool.
And, yeah, so that was quite good. Had a twinning rec, catch up and talking about the upcoming, twinning group from Nevada that are coming over for Lomi Days. They're arriving the Thursday before and leaving the Monday after for Lomi Days weekend. So looking for any home saves, if you know of
Right.
anyone.
Damn.
So it's easy to do and, So something to think about if you have, if
Mhm.
you know someone or anything like that, that would be great. Met with the public safety and solicitor general staff, and I think there were 2, 3, 4, 5,
Get past that.
5 people
That
online.
was the list. Got it? In case you wanted to look at.
So we talked, Dennis. We talked about a number of different things, but talked about having, bail hearings held in Port Hardy, not virtually. It's virtually, they don't quite understand how some offenders might not be that bad in their eyes in Victoria or Nanaimo, but they, in a small community, they are significantly at a different tolerance level. So talk about that. We talked about strain on the RCMP and the repeated incidences, kind of like that Groundhog Day with the same 10 people over and over again that are causing the major disruptions in the disruptions, talking about social media and how to counteract some of the social media negativity where someone might post a snippet of something that doesn't show the before and the after, doesn't show the bite marks on the RCMP's arms, doesn't talk about the RCMP now dealing with hospital visits to check for different potential issues. Doesn't talk, and we talked about the how much of the downtown violence and abuse is mental health as well as addictions, and that maybe that you could look at having the mental health card be a Port Hardy. And CAO suggested, we've had asked numerous times for a mental health card to be up here, to go back and have a look at some of the reports from the RCMP in the district on how to get a mental health card, or the need for the mental health card up here. That because of the gaps in our services up here, it's not because we don't have the services, don't have enough professionals to fulfill the services, so the gaps, and if there's any way they can help bringing in professionals to help out, that would be great. Talked about reviewing some of the alcohol, consumption from the liquor store and maybe changing some of the things that they're selling instead of selling the small, low cost containers. Maybe that should be stopped, and increasing security at this liquor store so that there can't be bootleggers. And that's been a big concern brought forward from our local First Nations as well, as the concern around the bootlegger and what can we do to help prevent it? I mean, I don't know. What's that?
I was at that meeting. I'm going, that sounds familiar.
You were in Kelvin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a really good meeting, and I know that they were taking all sorts of notes, and kudos to our CAO for putting together an amazing briefing note that was so good.
Yeah.
And for that many people to come forward and talk to us and listen to our concerns, and it was I felt quite powerful. The Indigenous specific anti-racism learning was, I must admit, I would kind of drag my feet going to it because I've been to a number of those events that they're all different, and this one was really powerful. I have some hesitation going forward because it's so powerful, but no real hesitation about going. So there's 3 more to go to, 1 more this week and then 2 more in the fall sometime. And yeah, I think just listening to some of the participants in there and the learning of those participants who have lived in this community for so long and didn't know some of this stuff. And so I thought, yeah, lifelong learning is very important. Our CAO and I attended a meeting with the Galcapofla Society about some of their plans, which are very, very draft plans on what they're going to be doing with the gray building, and pretty amazing if even half of it comes through. It's pretty darn amazing. And, you know, we were talking and we said, oh, you know, everybody calls it the gray building. And one of the elders said, a word, he liked the gray building, the name of it, and one of the translations, that word he used, I can't remember. One of the words for gray in the Quagga didn't mean like gray, like we think of gray and gloomy and all the rest. It was uplifting and a growth, and it tied with cedar, and you think cedar turns gray after as it ages. So anyway, they're building and they'll call it what they want, but I just said, okay, kind of turned myself. And I had ended the my week with a fun thing today and had the Wallace school, which is 5, 6, 7s. There's only 6 of the class, but come and have a visit and learn about what the district of Port Hardy does and what chief or the mayor and council does and how it's the same but different from the elected chief and council.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was me. All right, lots of things happening and coming up. I want to remind people about the spring cleanup coming up.
Yeah, that was again.
Motion on that
Oh, did I miss something?
for this.
No, that's in Cameron.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
So lots of things coming up in our National Public Works, and kudos to all our public works workers. And, emergency planning committee, I think I just want to mention one thing that I was reminded about, and I'm sure others have been reminded about with our new system that the district is going on. That if you've enrolled in the emergency alert with the district of Port Hardy in the past, it's a new system, so you have to re-register.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
Push that up to social media.
yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be pushed out, but just, that was a reminder, and I haven't done it yet, but I will.
Everybody should have gotten a text message on Friday as part of our alerting process, who is already registered with the old system to move to the new system.
And that might have happened, it might not.
I just saw the.
Maybe we didn't wasn't registered on the old one.
I just thought it was the test alert. That was coming in, read it.
What's the test of it?
And that might have been what I thought, that was my excuse too.
Yeah, that's not to say.
Especially,
We did have to laugh, though, that apparently the voice to text option that goes to your voicemail is not clear at all with the radio voice that is used on the mass notification system that we are currently using, the one that we're looking to get rid of. And somebody sent me a screenshot that is this legit? Somebody had sent it to her and said, what's going on at the district? Because all she sent was the chat. But yes, we did send out a notice that said the new mass notification system is upgrading. So we can do that again.
again and again.
It looks like an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but the transcription for, it's quite funny because it says sign up by May 31, Newport Hardy mass notification system. The district of Port Hardy is upgrading a new mass notification system. And then to continue to, and then it goes on to say notifications at www.430.ca. Because he goes Port Hardy. He does a better job than Jill. Yes, Tom does a much better job than Jill does, but after reading this, I couldn't help but laugh, going, how many people are sitting reading their voice to text?
Yeah, what is this?
All right, so no notice of in camera, motion to adjourn. Counselor Dugas, oh man, that hand's been going up quick today.
Win some, lose some.
Oh. No,
got? Anybody?
everybody jumped
Thanks,
off,
Beth.
we don't have any questions.
Say this,
In Canada stuff?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so
Dennis.
there is a MAC meeting on Thursday,
oh,
exactly the same time as the train.
I don't think anything's up right.